Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud and today I'll be showing you my £1,500 flight sim setup, including my throttle quadrant, honeycomb yoke, switch panels, autopilot panel, rudder pedals and of course flight sim PC. Now this setup has been in the works for about a year now and I'm finally at a satisfactory level to show you guys all around. It works very well, does everything you need of course. Built it to a budget of £1,000, although of course we did go over, mainly for the honeycomb yoke. But first let's take a look. Okay, so down here we've got the jewel in the crown of this flight sim setup. It's of course my flight sim PC. If you're wondering what this is on top, this weird little thing, it's a Wi-Fi adapter to ensure I get the best Wi-Fi speeds while I'm live streaming. Now right now we haven't got the coloured fans on, primarily because they're just red. I can't change the colour of them, so I don't always like that. But let's run into the specs of this very nice PC. Now this of course was the most expensive bit of my build, cost around £900–800 in the end. What's it got inside, I can hear you say. Well, let me tell you first of all, it runs Microsoft Flight Simulator very well on high settings with some on ultra. If you want to check out the settings I roughly use, just scroll back through my channel, they're all there. Now inside we've got an AMD RX 5600 XT, a fantastic 1080p graphics card, does the job superbly, haven't had any issues with it apart from a few driver issues. I mean it really is magnificent, superb, does the trick. In addition to that we've got a Ryzen 5 3600, also a very capable CPU, no problems with that, I've never really been bottlenecked, I've built the perfect combination really. On top of that, something I think is very important is the 32GB of RAM. I've got 32GB DDR4 RAM at 3200 MHz. Now RAM had a massive difference to my FPS for me on Microsoft Flight Simulator, almost doubling my FPS in some cases and certainly removing stuttering. In addition to that, I've got a 2TB hard drive and 1.2TB of SSD storage, and SSD storage is very important for video editing. It just means you get everything a lot quicker. Also, I've got my Thrustmaster T-Flight headphones here, but they're styled like an aviation headset. They're a bit clunky, but they're quite comfortable, and they do a good job at noise cancelling as well. I don't really wear them, I sometimes wear them when I'm flying. It's nice to have ATC, IVA or VATSIM going through them. It just adds to the realism. In addition to that, you can see that red cable. We've got a old PS4 controller here just to get some awesome cinematics. It works very well. I highly recommend you use an Xbox or PS4 controller. You can just get some awesome cinematics with it. It's very nice to use it for drone cam. But anyway, let's get to the reason why you clicked on this video. Let's take a look at the main setup. Okay, so here we are, the setup is in front of us now. We've got our throttle quadrant here. This cost me around £80, although normally they would be cheaper, but because of the pandemic, everyone thinks it's nice to raise prices or everything, so there we go. Now, I really do like this. I know the honeycomb one is coming out, although you can probably tell my desk isn't massive and probably wouldn't be able to take it. It works really well. You've even got this way to add reverse thrust by pulling back, you can see there, and then clicking forward. If you listen carefully, you should be able to hear it. There you go, can you feel that detent in between there? That's very good for reverse thrust. And if you watch the screen, I'm not too sure if you'll be able to see, but if I push forward, you can see our reverses come out. That just works magnificently, I have to say. Top of that, I assigned this to flaps in the bigger aircraft, but of course it would be mixture in the propeller aircraft such as the Cessna. We've also got 3 2-switch buttons down here. I assigned these to flaps and gear and something else, spoilers I believe. And these feel nice. I prefer to use the switch panel on the yoke or even the panel over there, but it's always nice to have some extra buttons. Moving on to the best part of the setup, we've got the Honeycomb Aeronautical Alpha Flight Controls yoke and switch panel here. Now you may notice that I've got 2 switch panels, and that's purely because they both have different functions on them, although they do overlap. Of course we've got our magneto starter here, which has no effect in the airliners at all, but it's very nice for GA flying, of course, with the Cessna and Piper. Down here, I'm not too sure how well you can see on the camera, I just move the yoke out of the way, you can see we've got our light switches over here, we've got beacon land, taxi navigation strobe. On top of that we've also got master, battery and alternator and our avionics as well. Now this yoke is really well built, it has to be said. There's some good tension on the elevator or pitch axes, although it could do some more on the roll axes in my opinion. You just saw I moved the hat switch up there on here. And yeah, I mean the hat switch is also very nice as well. We've also got some nice buttons on here as well. We've got our trim switches, meaning you can trim up and down, and you can also trim your rudder using this one. And you can see on the screen it's slowly moving the rudder trim. I mean, yeah, it really is superb. I can't say anything bad about it. It is quite pricey. I bought this from America for £300, although now apparently it started appearing in the UK and you can get it for around £250. I was a bit annoyed when I saw it come into stock literally the day after I got it delivered, but hey, and of course you get some nice LED lights as well. Now you can see in the background there, it's actually focused really nicely. We've got our two Logitech switch panels, and these are really nice. I've had these for quite a while now, almost a year and a half. Let's go take a look at them. So awkwardly squeezing between my yoke is literally in the camera right now, it just made it shake. You can see we've got our two panels here. Now on the top we've got the Logitech switch panel, which retails for around £70 to £100, very pricey in my opinion, and I wouldn't exactly recommend these anymore, especially when we've got the likes of the Honeycomb Bravo flight controls coming out soon. However, they do the job well. I've never had any problems with them, except from with the multi-panel, but we'll get into that bit later. Now on the top you can see we've got master, battery alternator, avionics master, fuel pump, de-ice, pizza heat, all your loads down here, and of course cowl flaps for your general aviation aircraft. I've got a very nice click to them. They are secured together, although they're not secured on the desk. That's because the only way to do that would be with a sticky Velcro pad, and I don't really want to be ripping the paint off here. The gear is my favourite part of this. You also get gear indicator lights. You'll see that in the final part of this video in action. And of course we've also got our magneto starter here with right, left, both and start. It works very well. I think this is slightly cheaper than the multi-panel, and the multi-panel I'm going to certainly keep. It's a very nice bit of kit when it works anyway. We've of course got our trim wheel here, which you can just about see, and I really do love that. That's really nice to have. We've also got our flap lever here, which I don't prefer to use anymore. I prefer to assign flaps on the axes, on the throttle quadrant, just because it feels a bit more realistic. Also got a nice metallic or metal auto throttle switch here. Feels very sturdy, but if this is unloosened, then you'll certainly feel the whole unit move. We've also got our autopilot panel here, which isn't working completely at the moment because we're on the ground, and it seems to be a bit of a bug with loading this on the ground, but once we get up in the air this seems to work very well. Now of course you've got altitude, vertical speed, indicated airspeed, heading and course to select. You also get these nice illuminated buttons. You can see we get all of the beautiful LED switches come on with the test software. That's just to check them through, and you can see we do get the digits come up here, although it doesn't appear to work very well on the ground with Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's a bit temperamental at times, but it seems to work. As I said, this probably will be outsourced by the Logitech or by the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant down the line. But aside from that, it is a really nice bit of kit. I really love it. Overall, the Honeycomb Yoke really is the piece de resistance of this whole setup. I really love it. I'm honestly blown away. Superb quality feel, works very well, integrates almost instantly with Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can see the ailerons popping up and down. It is just so smooth, so responsive. Of course, I've got my rudder pedals as well, so let's go take a quick look at them. Now I've got my rudder pedals down here. There's nothing overly special with these. These are basically the cheapest quality rudder pedals you can get, although they work very well. We've got our toe brakes, of course. Apologise for the shaky camera at this point. It's quite hard to hold this camera down here. Of course, we've got my horrific cable management. Because my desk is quite small, there's not overly many places I can squeeze them in. But overall, I really love these Thrustmaster T-Flight rudder pedals. Do the job really well, and of course, we've got those nice metal rails there. You can also spot my HyperX Quadcast microphone in the back there, which is what I use for filming all of my voiceovers and of course all my videos. We've got a 2E737 model in the back there, although I don't believe you can see that. So there we have it, my £1,500 PC setup, Flight Sim setup tour. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I can only thank you guys for being able to get stuff like this. YouTube is absolutely amazing and you guys always blow me away. All the links are down below for all of the equipment I use, from the yoke to the microphone. They are Amazon affiliate links, so I do get a commission, although the prices remain the same. I'd like to say a massive thank you. I hope you've enjoyed my £1,500 setup tour. It's a lot of money, especially on flow simming, but I think every penny has been well spent. So thanks guys. Really easy to have a clear desk again. You can just have to unclamp these down the bottom, and I normally move them to the side. That's normally what I do when I'm editing videos. But anyway, I'd like to say a massive thank you to my channel members, business class and first class. The names are on the screen now. But anyway, let's take off from here at Chicago.